Hey guys, Tim over in the Bulwark here. We are in day 15 of the Epstein saga, and like as I am taping, like this is still going on, a live stream between a couple of big figures in the MAGA media world. There's Alex Jones, the noted conspiracy theorist, and Tim Dillon, who's actually pretty funny as far as MAGA comedian guys go. They're having a convo in which Alex Jones is talking about how Donald Trump is committing seppuku, committing harikari, killing his own side's political fortunes because of his handling of the Epstein case. Over the course of this interview, not only do they talk about the severe political damage that Donald Trump is still doing to his own side, they're not moving on as Trump wants, but also reveal that these guys, at least one of them, had private dinner with the vice president and has, I guess, exclusive information that has not been revealed anywhere else. The vice president is sharing with a MAGA comic podcaster. So that's the world we're in these days. I keep telling you all, we have to monitor this stuff because it's like in Men in Black where they read the National Enquirer for the real news. That's what's happening now. To get the real news, you've got to monitor the MAGA Media Freak Show. So here we go. I'm going to play a couple clips for you. The first one's the candy. It's Alex Jones explaining to Tim Dillon why he thinks this is political suicide for Trump.
From the outside, the Trump administration campaigns on exposing this cover-up, blowing the lid off this cover-up. And then they get in office, and now it seems like they're part of this cover-up. So what, in your estimation, has happened?
Well, all I can do is observe from the outside. I have a lot of sources and some inside baseball on what's happening. But the fact I know is this. 15 days ago, they leaked to Axios, the Justice Department, this. Epstein didn't get murdered, and there wasn't human trafficking, and there wasn't any blackmail, and case closed. And that flies in the face of the court cases, the evidence, the intelligence connections, everything we know. And then I came out on that Monday, 14 days ago, and I said, this isn't Pam Bondi. And I'm not defending her. I agree. She's in over her head, like you said. She should go back to policing jet skis in Florida. But then he comes out the next day and says on True Social, no, we need the FBI to move on. I told him to do this. And the next day in a press conference, he chews out the reporter when they're talking about all these issues, saying, how dare you desecrate the graves of dead kids in Texas with the floods? Shut up. And it's uncharacteristic for Trump. He looks scared. He looks concerned. And then all the other Truth Social posts about if you ask questions, you're with the Democrats, and this is all a Democrat made-up hoax, and you're just idiots. When all his surrogates had promised they'd bring this out, he talked about bringing it out. So this is harikari. This is seppuku. For those that don't know, in Japanese, that means suicide. And I had the head of Rasmussen Polling on, the best polling agency, the most accurate on record today. He said Trump has lost 14 points with independents, 5 points with his main base. Like Steve Bannon said a week ago, that'll lose him, before Rasmussen reported it, his dead reckoning was right, 40 seats probably in the midterms in a year and a half.
He's going with data there. He cited Steve Bannon saying they could lose 40 seats in the House of Representatives. Cites who they're losing ground with. And I think there's something to be said for the fact that Epstein is not going to be the key issue of the midterms. Midterms are driven a lot by enthusiasm. And if the MAGA base is deflated, if the types of people that watch Alex Jones and watch Tim Dillon and listen to Steve Bannon's War Room kind of decide that they're not that excited about it, that is going to have ripple effects as far as turnout is concerned. So I do think this remains a very real, active, and live political issue. Then you have the Kremlinology of all this. Who's found it? JVL wrote in the Triad today, if you go check that out at thebulwark.com, about the interesting J.D. Vance element, how J.D. Vance had met with the Murdochs recently, and how his incentives might be aligned various ways on this. There is another wrinkle, I guess, in the J.D. Vance strategery. surrounding the Epstein case. In this interview, Tim Dillon reveals, I think for the first time, I went back and watched. Tim Dillon did another podcast a couple of days ago where he was talking about what administration officials had told him. He was being vague. But I believe this is the first time that we've known that Tim Dillon had a private dinner with J.D. Vance, during which they discussed Epstein, and during which J.D. was giving out some conflicting information from what is going up for the rest of the administration. Let's take a look at that.
When Bondi said we have 10,000 hours of video, she said we have 10,000 hours of video. I had dinner last week with the vice president. He told me that that was commercial pornography. They do not have videos of any powerful person in a compromising position. That's the party line that they're going with. If that's the case, why would Pam Bondi call it evidence? Why would she say it's evidence? She's not an idiot. She's the attorney general. Why would she say she has files on her desk if none of these implicated anybody? It just feels like they're covering something for sure, 100%. And I feel like they're telling a story, and the story doesn't make any sense.
All right. So JD's throwing Pam Bondi under the bus in private, I guess. JD's claiming, interesting claim, that these tapes that were taken from Epstein's mansion in New York are not blackmail tapes, or not tapes of famous people having sex with minors in his home, but are in fact just a massive cache of porn. Who the hell knows? Bin Laden had a lot of porn. Epstein could have been a porn hound himself. I mean, if you know anything about Jeffrey Epstein, it would seem weird for him to feel like he would need a lot of over-the-counter porn, given the fact that he was like running a massive sex ring where he was taping people at all times. And if you watch the Epstein documentary, a couple of women testify that they saw his, what would you call it, a video room, a peep show, a spy room, where Epstein had video cameras of what was happening in all the bedrooms and bathrooms around his residence at the USVI and in New York. So again, what the fuck? I don't know what Jeffrey Epstein's into, what kind of porn he's into. Maybe he also had the world's biggest collection of porn, and he was also taping the teenagers that he was like, possible. It's the only video the government has, though. All those investigations, maybe, I don't know. That's the J.D. Vance claim. It's interesting. As you see in the clip, it's in contrast to what Pam Bondi was saying. And so either way, even if J.D. Vance is right, that's really hanging Pam Bondi out to dry. Like, why was she out there saying she had tens of thousands of hours of video of famous people sleeping with underage girls at Jeffrey Epstein's house if all she had was porn? That will be an interesting oversight question for Pam Bondi at some point too. There has to be a reason why these people are lying. I mean, the Occam's razor reason is that they're covering up to protect Donald Trump because he shows up in a lot of these materials. An alternate reason might be something else that I don't know. Pam Bondi just wanted to be on Fox so much she fabricated a bunch of things that she had that she didn't really have. I don't know. But needless to say, we learned tonight that J.D. Vance is at odds with Pam Bondi as far as the story that they're telling. And that J.D. Vance was sharing that in a private dinner that he had with a MAGA podcast host who has been kind of quite critical of the administration, both on Epstein, as you've seen in these clips, but also recently on Gaza and the Iran strikes. He's not big on those. Again, if I'm Trump, I'm going, why is JD doing this? Like, is this for me? Is he doing this he's having private dinners with the Murdochs, and he's having private dinners with podcast guys that have been shitting on me? Okay. Is he helping me, or is there something else going on? I don't know. Something to think about. was an interesting little factoid, I guess, that Tim Dillon revealed that him and JD are having dinner. Maybe JD just likes having dinner with interesting people. Who's to say? Another wrinkle. Can't believe I saved this one last. You made it this far. I got some dessert for you. Howard Nutlick shows up in this interview in kind of a strange way. Let's take a look at that.
And I don't believe from my sources, and this is high-level FBI, that it is Trump, but it's people in his administration, including a top financial advisor that's heavily involved. Trump wants to get his agenda through of jobs, $15 trillion investment coming in, $3 trillion already here. He wants to stop World War III. I'm not defending this. I'm saying the thinking, I've been told.
Yeah.
And so he goes, oh, my God, this is a giant new Russiagate setup. He comes out and says to my list, to his supporters.
Would I be crazy when you say a top financial advisor? Are we talking about Epstein's neighbor?
We are.
Okay, interesting, and that makes sense. So
which shows how informed you are, and I'm not trying to be a mean person.
Yeah.
Because he may even be innocent. But we're talking about Lutnick.
That's right, Howard Lutnick. Don't sue me. Kidding.
Well, it's beyond suing. This is like
the
intel agencies
they're
think we're
going to
stupid.
find me in the pool. Yeah, you're right. Now,
no, let's just say you brought it out. You're smart to figure it out. Nobody else was. I'm sure it's true.
Yeah,
they're blackmailing him with Lutnick. I've confirmed that from the FBI, and it's not that Lutnick did anything wrong, but yeah.
What's happening there, just for context, is Jones is offering. Basically they're offering multiple theories, just like me, where they are working through, well, not just like me, because Alex Jones makes shit up all the time, but they are working through whether or not, there was some foul play here. They shoot some strays at Maureen Comey. Maybe it was the Comeys that put fake Trump material in the Epstein files. I don't know. They go through crazy town. But then they explore the theory of, okay, maybe Trump is covering it up. And then Alex Jones is now offering another theory, which is, okay, maybe they're covering up, and it's not because Trump was, doing bad things with young girls, but or that they're covering up because there just is some bad look relationship with Epstein stuff in there. But maybe they're covering it up for some other reason. And what Alex is postulating here is that Lutnick is kind of pushing Trump to just say, come on, like, this is stupid. Let's leave all these people alone. Whoever's in this list, we don't want to give them any trouble. You got to focus on your agenda, the economy, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. That one doesn't really land with me. Tim Dillon then jumps in and points out that Lutnick and Epstein were neighbors. So anyway, the suggestion here is that Lutnick is involved in pushing Trump to, want to move on from this story. Those guys both kind of go out of their way to not say they're accusing Lutnick of being involved on the sex side of this. Maybe there are other political considerations or friends of friends. These guys all run in the same circles. Apparently they do real estate deals together. I don't know. That one doesn't exactly smell right to me, but I just think from a political standpoint that you have this happening over there. We're in day 15. You have MAGA comedians, MAGA, like one of the original in Alex Jones InfoWars, pro Donald Trump MAGA media outlets. They're having a chat tonight, and the whole thing is about Epstein, about how it's going to hurt Trump politically, and about all of this inside baseball of the players in the administration and who's at fault and who's saying one thing and who's contradicting another thing, and how it's wrapping up the vice president, the attorney general, the secretary of commerce, and who knows who else. So anyway, get out the popcorn, throw a little Tony's on top, get a little spice on top of your popcorn, and sit back and enjoy, because that's what's happening over there. And it seems like there's really no end in sight. I think that for some folks who are like, oh, okay, it's going to be just like any of those other stories. It's going to look bad for Trump for a couple of days, and then everybody's going to get back in line. I don't know. These guys don't seem like they're getting in line to me. We'll keep an eye on it. Make sure to subscribe to this feed, because we're watching it so you don't have to. And we'll be talking to you all again soon.